GCN Waluigi Stadium, one of Mario Kart Wii's most technique-heavy tracks in the game. From barely flying by invisible barriers, to fast wall cancel tricks, to difficult shroomless turn skips and much more little nuances along the way, GCN Waluigi Stadium is very challenging but rewarding to play. GCN Waluigi Stadium also has an ultra shortcut. This was discovered over 5 years ago now, where Blaze MSX uploaded a video on July 5th, 2015 with his discovery. Since then, our very dedicated and talented tool-assisted speedrunners in the Mario Kart Wii community have further optimized this ultra shortcut to the current fastest completion of 50.534 done by Nevermind aka Rocky in November of 2018. Due to the techniques involved for glitching GCN Waluigi Stadium, ever since its discovery in July 2015, the track has still been deemed unlikely to impossible to be glitched in real time by RTA runners. Until now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's NMeade here, and today we're going to reflect on the history of glitching GCN Waluigi Stadium in real time. Before we start, I'd like to give a very special thank you and shout out to all the community members who helped me in the creation of this video. Many of these community members upload videos to their YouTube channels and also do live streams on Twitch. All of their social media are in the description below, and I highly recommend you check them out and give everyone support. To start, we should address the obvious. The fastest method to glitch GCN Waluigi Stadium and the method that's been executed in real time are completely different. The fastest method to glitch GCN Waluigi Stadium involves using a technique called rapid fire hop abuse. By hopping on every other frame, you can actually do quite a lot on different tracks, which also includes being able to phase through a zipper bend like this one. To give context, Mario Kart Wii runs at 60 frames per second, meaning you need to press the hop button 30 times per second. This is incredibly impractical for pulling this off in real time, as the most probable outcome would be holding the hop button for more than one frame. The only method known as of today's upload date to do this technique humanly is doing home button abuse on a Wii remote. If you time this correctly, you can advance one frame at a time, and you could theoretically pull this glitch off. This requires over 70 frame perfect inputs in a row to pull this off just once. All these factors put together, this is not realistic for someone to do in real time. When Blaze discovered the GCN Waluigi Stadium glitch, Blaze also discovered the N64 DK's Jungle Parkway glitch roughly 1 week before this, and discovered the N64 Sherbet Land glitch only 1 day before this track. Blaze did some testing on other tracks that had a similar finish line banner, testing all the N64 ported tracks, in particular N64 Mario Raceway, theorizing he could find an ultra shortcut if he managed to clip out of bounds to the right of the finish line along the seam of the wall before respawning behind the line. Funnily enough, this is actually what the tool-assisted speedrunning community discovered this year with the Fast Lap Ultra shortcut, only with a different entry. Blaze says the top of the finish line banners on all the other N64 ported tracks aren't actually solid, making N64 DK's Jungle Parkway's solid horizontal wall banner an anomaly. Blaze's guess as to why this is the case is the developers realized you could accidentally hit the banner when shrooming out of the cave, so they just lazily gave it another collision type from elsewhere in the track instead of creating its own. Blaze also says this is why you hear the cave wall sound effect when you clip off the banner as well on the N64 DK's Jungle Parkway glitch. With discovering the other N64 tracks couldn't be broken, Blaze next thought of GCN Waluigi Stadium, vaguely remembering clipping the top of the banner a few years prior, meaning that it had a horizontal wall on it. With horizontal wall collision, when the back tire hits a horizontal wall, you are given 20 frames of immunity to vertical walls, invisible walls which are just walls with no textures, and you're able to generate height from hitting a horizontal wall as well. This is how Blaze's glitch discovery on N64 DK's Jungle Parkway works, where the top of the finish line on that track has horizontal wall collision. Blaze knew that if he could clip the banner and land on the other side, he'd be skipping the first key checkpoint, allowing him to cut off most of the track using a method that normally wouldn't count the lap, giving a Maple Treeway style of ultra shortcut Blaze mentions. Within minutes, Blaze was able to get this idea to work. However, Blaze quickly discovered the lap didn't count, realizing that he was crossing the finish line backwards, which was putting Blaze outside of the checkpoint 0 box. After giving up for a day to test other ideas, Blaze discovered the SNES Ghost Valley 2 ultra shortcut that allows you to skip most of the track. I just love how Blaze just casually gives up for a day to test other ideas and finds another ultra shortcut. That's just crazy. One day later, after telling several people about his work on GCN Waluigi Stadium, Blaze was asked to upload a video of it. Blaze didn't save his original attempt, so he recreated it from how easy it was to pull off, thinking he was recording a disappointment. To Blaze's absolute shock, Blaze crosses the line to find that it ended up counting the lap this time. Blaze explains that he realized the finish line was positioned further back than he originally thought, so skipping past it wasn't that difficult at all. I think now is a good time to discuss the checkpoint system for GCN Waluigi Stadium, and how getting any form of an ultra shortcut to work with the lap counting. When racing on a track, the key checkpoint you're in and the one in front of you are loaded, but if you're in the key checkpoint, the one behind you is also loaded. The red line is the finish line, the green lines indicate key checkpoints, and the blue lines indicate standard checkpoints. These standard checkpoints matter for respawns when falling off, and the key checkpoints matter for a lap to count during the race. The reason why Blaze's discovery back in 2015 works is because he bypasses the first two key checkpoints by using the banner clip, then using rapid fire hop abuse to phase through the half-pipe zipper to the end of the track, hits the last key checkpoint and the lap counting. And remembering the important point that Blaze mentions is not going behind the finish line, with his successful attempt realizing the finish line is positioned a bit further back than he originally thought. With Blaze's discoveries in 1 week breaking N64 DK Jungle Parkway, N64 Sherbet Land, SNES Ghost Valley 2, and GCN Waluigi Stadium, it was only GCN Waluigi Stadium that ended up not being possible without tool assist. That didn't halt other players from theorizing ways to make glitching GCN Waluigi Stadium RTA viable, including a method Blaze shares by MultiMarioKarter in July 2015 that is pretty similar to the method that's done today, but this method did not have a lap count as it involves going backwards through the finish line. Later in 2015, Sam F tried some attempts at glitching GCN Waluigi Stadium in real time, who had inspiration from a video uploaded by Mark in 2014 being a Bumpfest TAS video. In this video, Mark was able to use an ultra shortcut in 2-player mode without the lap counting, and avoiding the out of bounds. Sam also knew how high you were able to bounce from horizontal walls, so he decided to combine the two together and had this attempt. During Sam's attempts, Sam originally tried the mock bike, but never got close to the top of the banner. After trying the bullet bike, Sam had a few close attempts almost right away. This was Sam's closest attempt at the time, and Sam had 2 other attempts that got a tremendous amount of distance, but unfortunately the angle was not favorable. Sam showed this to the TAS community at the time, and they weren't able to successfully traverse the chasm to the other side either. Oddly enough, I myself tried theorizing some ideas back in January of 2017, and seeing if I could find anything different. During that time, I ended up hitting the top of the banner and getting rejected by the invisible wall. I also had an attempt where I hit the top of the banner and got instantly shot down and out of bounds. This one got me the most excited at the time, but not surprisingly, no lap count. Fast forward several years, there were no developments with glitching GCN Waluigi Stadium humanly until the first half of 2019. Justin theorized a way to bypass the half-pipe zipper without rapid-fire hop abuse. This would involve going back to the 3 mini mounds, turning around, using multiple mushrooms to fly far enough land at a precise angle, which will lead to this happening. Benny confirms this theory in August 2019. However, the problem was it required all 3 mushrooms to pull off, and at the time, we thought the banner clip to get to this area to begin with was only possible using at least 1 mushroom. In the beginning of January 2020, Justin theorized a method to pull off the banner clip without a mushroom, and EJ shared Justin's idea in the TAS Discord server. One day later, Benny came through once more and proved he can successfully pull off the banner clip shroomless, confirming that this 2-part sequence can be done to glitch GCN Waluigi Stadium humanly, doing a shroomless banner clip to bypass the first 2 key checkpoints, and using all 3 mushrooms to phase through the halfpipe zipper, land at the end of the track, and complete the lap. I was pumped to try and find undiscovered methods of glitching different tracks at the beginning of this year, and with these developments, I did several streams myself where I tried and other players were trying this method out as well. My closest attempt was getting a sort of corkscrew spin through the halfpipe, and I never ended up making it to the other side of the track. The first person to pull off the second part sequence would be Skell with Baby Luigi. This was a big step with this being successfully pulled off humanly, and gave much hope that we could really see this happen sometime soon. Unfortunately, many of us began to realize how futile this method was for glitching the track. When players were attempting the shroomless banner clip, some thought that the shroomless banner clip was actually far more difficult than the halfpipe zipper strategy. And even if someone were to pull off both of these reasonably fast, more than likely the fast lap world record would be the only one to be improved, leaving the 3-lap world record very unlikely to be beaten with a successful glitch run. So after these developments in January of this year, things calmed down again for several months. It wouldn't be until July 10th where Jellopuff released a video confirming Sam F's original theory after independently testing it for about a month prior, getting close with the mock bike but not quite making it. But after trying the bullet bike, after tinkering with the angle and the drift, Jellopuff was able to clear the gap successfully, and giving props to Mario for also making his own attempts in voice chat when Jellopuff was making attempts as well. This was a huge development in the hunt for successfully glitching this track humanly. One of the biggest advantages with this method, apart from this being a far less convoluted method in comparison to the shroomless banner clip and the halfpipe zipper method, this method is significantly faster, saving over 10 seconds over Benny's method. This made beating the 3-lap world record much more hopeful as a result. Jellopuff successfully clips off the banner and gets enough distance with a correct angle, where Jellopuff does not go behind the finish line. With the more parallel you are to the banner, the better chance you have of getting a lap count. The following days were epic. Many people were streaming their attempts in a frenzy to try and successfully pull this off. I personally watched a fair amount of these streams, with numerous people getting very close to pulling off this strategy almost right away, but no one clearing it successfully. 4 days later, on July 14th, EJ was asked by Arvo to task code Arvo's very close attempt at pulling off Jellopuff's method. And task code is a tool in Dolphin which is essentially live replay for a ghost, but you are able to deactivate it at any time, allowing you to do your own inputs at a certain part of the run. During EJ's testing, he found a massive backwards hop and flew across the entire chasm he crossed and landed back on the track. EJ then decided to try this on the left side to see if it would count the lap, and sure enough, it did, confirming you can pull this glitch off of 1 mushroom as well, and being an even faster method to pull this off in real time. EJ also included a second strategy which has a slim chance of being made, which looks crazy looking at it as well. And just like that, 4 days later, on July 18th, 2020, Logan would be the first person to successfully glitch GCN Waluigi Stadium humanly. He did not land back on the track, but was able to go back far enough to respawn at the end of the track, turn around, hit the last key checkpoint, race forward, and the lap to count with a final time of 1:48.384. On July 22nd, Logan improved a second time, with this being the first time someone landed back on the track with this strategy in real time, with a time of 1:47.730. On July 26th, Logan improved by over 1 second with a time of 1:46.402, even with missing the last trick at the end in style. On July 28th, Tony set his first Mario Kart Wii world record ever on this insanely hard glitch with a time of 1:45.860. And where it stands as of today's upload date on July 29th, Logan improved by over 1 second again with a time of 1:44.279. Both Logan and Tony grinded diligently in the second half of July after these developments, with Logan calling this glitch the second hardest glitch to pull off in the game behind Rainbow Road, and Tony keeping detailed statistics of the different types of bypasses and realistic attempts at landing the glitch that he had, with both players successfully executing this glitch in July. For further comments, you can find them in depth in the July 2020 World Record Review video, which will be linked down below. The excitement generated with these developments is indescribable. To come from a seemingly locked track to glitch humanly, to a fairly similar method that unfortunately didn't have a chance to have the lap count when going backwards to the finish line, theorizing a way to clip to the right backwards in the half-pipe section, to clipping to the left backwards, and discovering a method to phase through the half-pipe zipper without rapid-fire hop abuse, then returning to clipping to the right backwards, confirming Sam F's theory, then going left again after EJ's discovery, doing tests on Arbo's attempt. Their journey to achieve this in real time has been hopeless at points, to the exciting developments where things eventually landed today. From Blaze, the person who discovered the glitch on GCN Waluigi Stadium originally, in his words, the fact that we now have a way of doing this glitch in real time over just 5 years after it was discovered is surreal to him, since he had pretty much given up hope that we'd ever find a new method. I definitely share the same feeling too. To break down this method, EJ starts his explanation that the height you get before the banner clip is entirely dependent on when you hop to begin your drift. Once you've gotten the banner clip, the first thing you want to do is immediately nosedive as soon as possible after hitting the banner. This lowers your air, making you travel less distance. From there, you want to use your judgment to try and land on this specific spot. EJ believes you need the front wheel to land on the exact seam where the road and the fence connect, noting this is by far the most difficult part of EJ's method, and it will definitely take multiple good bypasses before you even hit the spot. If all these conditions are right, there is a 1-frame window, and on some occasions a 2-frame window, to time the hop to initiate the backwards hop according to EJ, with other factors potentially being the tilt of your bike, your speed with how much shroom boost you have left, and where you hit the banner. And if you don't get the bypass after the banner, there is potential that you landed directly on top of the banner and could have phased through the invisible wall. EJ says you need to hit the top corner of it, which has the horizontal wall properties, which, remembering the explanation from earlier on, hitting a horizontal wall can temporarily disable walls for 20 frames. There are 2 factors which determine your mid-air movement after getting the backwards hop. The first being how much your bike is tilted back, and second, how far left or right you are when you land. The more left you are, the better chance you have of making it. If you land too far to the right, even if you manage to get the hop out, you wouldn't get enough backwards momentum to even trigger a respawn. EJ knows that after the backwards hop, you cannot land in the small area in between the finish line and the last checkpoint on the track, meaning that even if you get the banner clip that would otherwise have a lap count, you still have potential to have a no lap count after getting the backwards hop if you land in the area EJ mentioned, which would just be devastating. EJ also mentions that this method is possible with the bullet bike and a trick, and it's also possible with the flame runner. Needless to say, driving the rest of the following laps with the bullet bike is difficult and unforgiving, with its much sharper cornering and high airtime it gets virtually everywhere on the track. If, and by me saying if, I should really say when someone eventually grinds this enough to get it with the flame runner, there is even more time saved to be had from being able to drive faster on the following 2 laps, dropping the time even further. I think we can expect this to be closer to the 140 mark when this is eventually performed with the flame runner, and as to when that will happen is anyone's guess. This has been a wild and exciting ride to watch these events unfold as they did, over the past 5 years on GCN Waluigi Stadium. The developments here really shows the power that both the RTA and the TAS communities of different games have, and progressing the game even further. I feel there's much more to be discovered in Mario Kart Wii, and the developments on GCN Waluigi Stadium proves that there's more than one way to accomplish something, and I feel that can be applied to different tracks in the game. Rainbow Road appears to be a final destination for now, to be glitched in real time, but who knows, maybe down the line, there will be a different method discovered on Rainbow Road that makes it more practical for humans to pull it off in real time. On that note, I thank you all very much for watching the video. I hope you guys learned something new, or just simply enjoy the further developments in a game that many of us love to play and watch. Thank you again to all the community members who helped me with making this video. As mentioned in the beginning of this video, all of their information will be linked in the description down below. Thank you all once more, and take care.